And we back. Welcome to another episode of the Ballinesian Podcast here on the Polytickin Network. Samoans talking about sports and PolyFest 2025. Great experience. We'll go into that before we hit our fantasy draft strategies for this year, as well as a couple of specific questions for the Chargers and Raiders fantasy players and how we're looking at them. We are here on the Polytickin Network. Make sure to subscribe to the Patreon. $5 or more gets you an extra Polytickin episode every week. Shout out to Cepha M. Oh, hello, Marcus, there on the Polytickin Podcast.
Oh, yeah.
You can also catch them on the YouTube channel, the Polytickin Network. Go ahead and punch that into the search there. Follow, subscribe. And shout out to Marcus for the Pacifica Movie Starter Kit. Definitely a lot of different content and mediums for you to enjoy. So we are sponsored by Livasa Island Apparel. Shout out to Brother E right down there in Modesto, California. You can put on for the culture and catch the wave at le_Vasa on Instagram or www.livasaislandapparel.com. Brother Forrest, Coach, how you feeling right now? You sound like your voice, you've been yelling a lot.
Well, no. Yeah. Just trying to speak over the music at the festival because the festival was lit, as the kids say. I don't even know if they say that these days. I can't keep up with the lingo. I'm old. But man, exciting. The performers, the vendors, the crowd. For me, it's my go-to festival. Of course, I'm geeked to see all the performers. Like, where in the world would I have ever thought to have been able to be on stage taking photos and videos of people like Kelemi and Young Go, Hi Guy Lai was out there, Makisi. And then also to share that same stage with, and no shade to those guys because they're big in our culture, our communities, but Kamaya is like, her reach is a little
She was
far.
out there. Yeah.
And then to be like, for starting from a kid from a little dot on the island, sound like one of those celebrity guys. From a kid, like I made it. I didn't make it, guys. Don't listen to me. But from a kid who used to hang out at a bus stop in American Samoa when the lights went down, when the sun went down, the lights were up. To be on stage and see those lights and see a performer like Kamaya, that's super exciting for me. But the most exciting thing for me to see is looking out into the crowd and see everybody vibing together. Like, man, when her DJ and her brother were like, she was about to come out and they were hyping the crowd up and they were like, everybody say, go, yeah, go. It was loud, and then she sang a song that was special to her and she asked everybody to pull out their cell phones out there and the cell phones went out. Oh, man, if you see, anywhere you see the footage, go look for the footage. It's crazy. I put up some of the footage. You can hear the crowd when they were vibing with VMAC and Tama. That's so dope. Having them sing along and those two on stage going back and forth, hyping the crowd, and then hearing everybody in unison singing the different songs. Like, man, that's the biggest highlight for me when I'm at these festivals.
We are, of course, going to be talking a little bit more about our experience there at PolyFest 2025 in Renton, Washington. It was held at Renton Memorial Stadium.
Yeah.
Man, we drove up that day and we're able to link up there. Got to see you, got to see everybody that was out there, do some interviews, listen to the music, get some food, and to be with family and people was definitely awesome. We posted the clip of our talk with Jesse and Victoria Correa, DJ LuceScrewz, Emerald Dynasty Entertainment, the founders of the PolyFest. And thank you to them for letting us be out there and
oh my gosh,
talking to everybody. But yeah, shout out to everybody that we got to talk to. We're going to be putting some of those interviews out. Kelemi, Tamaja Bless, Mena Book from Manuia Images, Oos Cannon. Shout out to Justice, the media manager over there for the PolyFest. So dope to be around other creatives and like people that are out
Man,
there
talk
capturing
about
this
it.
footage, man.
Yeah.
So that was dope. Got to see Mac Moley. We got to interview Mena Moley.
You know what? And another thing for us who like collaborate online when we do like our podcast, or we're on shows together, or just how we have like chat groups on here and we talk about, like, even if we're just trying to see football, but to meet each other in person for the first time, Mac, it was funny. It was like a movie. Like, we were best friends when we were little, and we seen each other from across the parking lot. Like, we hadn't seen each other for years. He smiled, I smiled. I was like, "Oh shit, that's Mac!" And he came over. He was like, "Oh damn, not that." Yeah, those moments are pretty dope. So, seeing Mac,
that might be Mac, because the exact same thing happened to me. It was like, this is our first time meeting, but it's like we've known each other for years and years, and it was just
man.
so comfortable. And
Right, even with Mena, when Mena came up, and we got to interview Mena.
Right when I saw her, I was like, we need to talk here.
She was doing her thing out there, man.
That's a cinematographer.
Yeah, man. All the photographers, videographers, they was doing their thing out there, and Cannon out there, being the manager, setting up that table for everybody to have their stuff out there, and having Bug out there and her niece, showing her the ropes. She's out there taking shots, seeing that.
Yep.
And so, shout out to everybody. I'm gonna get all your names, but just me posting some of this stuff earlier, and I'm getting all these friend requests from a lot of the creators that were there, a lot of the photographers. So that's even dope for me. That created a whole new community of people for me.
Yes.
So one such person that we seen there were the creators, or the creator for Samoa, Tino. Man, that's so dope, because his page is so official. Him and his brother, he was telling us that him and his brother created it.
Yeah.
And just the content they put out is such great content. It's quality content.
I will say I am not starstruck a lot. When this food was like, oh yeah, it's a page that's called For Samoa. And I was like, oh my God.
Supposed to know about it? Like, that's crazy.
Like, I've never heard about the page that we cite. It's basically like a news outlet. Like, it's got so many the amount of information and announcement and updates and current events that For Samoa posts. It's a page on Instagram. I'm sure they're on other platforms, but yeah, shout out to them. They're I feel like that's been the last year or two that it's grown even more. But yeah, to meet the person behind that account that's been putting in that work, and they've been grinding him. He said him and his brother are a team. One does the writing, the other does like the graphics, and they're able to like work together. We weren't able to get an interview with him, but shout out to For Samoa, shout out to Tino, his brother Nate, for the amount that and we saw them moving around the stage and capturing it. They're definitely putting in work and out there getting those angles and stuff.
They were cool too, because we passed each other on stage. We haven't met each other besides that day. And just in passing, you kind of look up. You got a camera, I got a camera. We smiled at each other, fist bump. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, it was cool. And then
peers.
And then for him to have a page like that, and then he saw us doing interviews, he approached us. We didn't go out to him and ask, and he was like, "Hey, you guys doing interviews?"
Well, we didn't know who the face of Force was, because it's been like a faceless page, but it's like, now it's time for them to even grow even more. So he's ready to do interviews and stuff. We got to get him next time.
But the best thing about him approaching us wasn't him just trying to grow Force more. He was trying to help us. He said, like, if we did the interview, just to collaborate with him, tag him, ask him to be a collaborator. And then with all the followers he had, this is for anybody. There's not too many people that'll share that avenue with you. But he was basically telling us, tag us, collaborate with us, so you can have our following too, or parts of our following too.
So it can be shared with them. Yeah. Right. So that we've been talking about this, especially with the passing of Fiji last month, is the way that Fiji lived his life. It seemed like he was always willing to lend a hand. And it was like anytime Fiji lent a hand, it was pulling somebody up, right? So yeah, that was also in the same vein of like our idea going out there, getting interviews, either getting like with the crowd or getting shout out to frickin' Forrest, actually.
No shout, man.
This guy got all the interviews. He was explaining to everybody what was going on. He set everything up. I just had the lapel mic and was able to talk to the dope creatives, like you said, photographers, artists, the organizers and everything. So yeah, big shout out to Forrest for getting all that to work out. But
I didn't do nothing. You know, this fool Lance is trying to talk to you like he wasn't a celebrity back home in American Samoa when we were out there. If you guys have the chance, go on YouTube. They still have clips of Flight Night. Some of the greatest you will ever see. I promise you. He did Flight Night. He was a DJ on the local radio back home. He was an MC at events. You couldn't go anywhere in Samoa without people recognizing Lance. Don't let this fool play you guys like he's not this. He was built for this. He was built for this. So yeah,
it is what I feel like. I don't know enough or even anything when we're going into some of these events. So just the curiosity of what these people are doing, what they're talking about, their purposes, their passions, is something that really excites me. Talking to anybody about something they're really excited about is one of the like very shared joys that I love of interviewing or talking to people.
You can see that, right? When you talk to them, especially like Justice, like you can talk to LuceScrewz and you can see how excited he was first year being the manager of the media team. You can see when you ask Bug about just her status and being a Polynesian woman in the industry itself and how she was explaining it, and she had her niece with her. So man, even like Galemi, just talking about being there, you ask everybody what brought them back to or what brings them back to PolyFest every year. And you can see them light up when you ask that question. Just like, and they all had just great answers to it. Like nothing big, man. You know what they said? That everybody tied them together, community.
Yeah, seeing the people, the crowd, the our people, you know, and sharing in that. Yeah. Definitely those events. I think we should make more of an effort to attend, to be there, to support the people putting it on that are taking, you know, the freaking doing everything. I'm sure there's paperwork, licenses, fees, all this stuff that they had to get that thing even set up, and then putting out the word to bring in all the different apparel vendors, merchandise vendors, services vendors, food tents, drink tents. They had 4 bounce houses out there, bro. That you don't get that at every festival. They also had a sign that said, "Don't leave your kids here." Okay, hey, this is for enjoyment, but we are not babysitting your children.
Hey, shout out to Sammy and Nora, Lance's life partner, right, and his daughter. They came to. Thank you, Sammy, for allowing Lance, because I know you allowed him to to allow him to come in and hang out with me and do these interviews. But look, these guys came over to the festival, and my niece said, Uncle Forrest, is it not time? Are we not allowed to go into the bouncy house right now? And I was like, no, you can. This is the bouncy house. Lance looks at me and Simon kind of peeks behind Lance, and I'm like, oh, is it not time?
You need to check in.
And I said, look, I can't lie to a little girl. What is wrong with you guys? I will not lie to her.
She's like, see, we can. Uncle Forrest says it's open. I was like, all right, well then let's go bounce around, bro. She was, yeah. I like that she was around children her size, because living in Portland, the community is mostly less big boned, right? So she's like playing with kids 6 months, 12 months older than her, and she's bigger than them. And I'm like, oh, well, now when she's in the jump house, it's Islander babies, it's Islander 3, 4, 5, 8-year-olds. So they're like sizable, right? And knocking her around and stuff. There were also very nice kids in that big ass bounce house that were like being very gentle and like helping her back towards the entrance so she could get out when she was ready to get out. So yeah, that was dope to see. Maybe even my kid is getting in on like the aspect of community and sharing this like space together. So dope to be at PolyFest 2025. Can't wait to see Village Kids Media, what you're going to be posting out, what you're going to be putting out for what you got.
There's so much content. I'm just
overwhelmed.
I thought it was tired shooting it.
Oh yeah. Hey, photographer life. It's like, oh yeah, we got the shooting and now we got the
my real child's gonna be like, hey, how come you got your laptop at work today?
I'm working.
So I could do extra work for this job. Promise.
Promise. Yo, shout out to you, man. That was dope to see you.
Shout out to us, man.
And work together.
Shout out to Libasa for giving us an avenue to talk about this stuff. And Polytickin Network. Next time we're gonna have to have all of us there together because
man,
a lot of I won't lie. Sefa, thank you. You weren't there in you were definitely there in name. I don't know how many times I dropped your name to get an interview or to I now know the reach of your popularity. So,
the power.
I apologize. I was aware of it, just wasn't aware of its reach. Nah, we always knew Sefa was a great musician, and that just goes to show what kind of musicianship he has. Is everybody knows Seth and his music, and everybody. Not only that, everybody knows how much of a great guy Seth is. You know, nothing against you, Marcus. I know you're a great guy, but
why'd you have to compare?
I'm just saying because I don't want people to be like, oh, what about Marcus? Marcus is a great guy. I love Marcus. But people at this festival are people who like I guess they did music with Sefa or in the studio. So funny story. We didn't get the interview. He was willing to, but he was busy. Had to go back on stage a couple of times after he came off for his set. But Shone Toki was one of our interviewees. We didn't get time to get him on camera, which was also funny because he's like, interview. Oh yeah, he was kind of reluctant. So I thought maybe because he had a team with him, a team of people, and I was like, oh, sorry, I don't mean to disrespect you. We have to talk to your team about it because you know some entertainers, you have to talk to somebody.
Oh yeah, I was like, oh shit.
Right, and I was like, "Is just someone right?" And he was like, "Oh no!" And he's so genuine and so funny. He was like, "You know, I have a tendency to put my foot in my mouth a lot of the times I do interviews." I was like, "Oh no, man! I promise, no leading questions, nothing like that. We're just gonna ask stuff about the festival." I was like, "Yeah, man." It's like we do and so that's when my intuition kicked in. I said, we do we're part of the Polytickin network. I'm sure you heard of it. He goes, oh yeah. It's like, yeah, you know, with Seth, and he goes, oh, is Seth here? Oh no, he didn't make it this time. He goes, oh, okay, I'll be right back. I gotta go through this cut through real quick, and I'll be right back. And that was the last we saw.
Oh yeah, he had to jump back on the stage. Yeah, oh, man, yeah, that was.
But what a genuine interaction. We love it. Thank you, Seth. A lot of people, even Book was like, I was like, oh yeah, you know, you might be able to catch this. I think I don't know if he's gonna post it because we talk about sports on the Ballinesian, but the interview you might be able to see like during one of the Polytickin podcast episodes. She was like, oh, you know, like Seth he does music. She goes, oh, I know Seth. Yeah, we talk about. I was like, oh, see, dope. Even Jess is, you know, fan of the podcast, which is also dope. Marcus and Seth, there's so many people there that were fans of the podcast. I cannot tell you how many people were fans of the Polytickin Network, the Polytickin Podcast, and then like some of them, Lance hadn't gotten there. They had heard of Lance. Like, I was like, oh, my guy's coming. He's the third part of the Polytickin Podcast, and they're like, oh, Lance. I was like, yeah, Lance. So that's cool, man. Like I said, just geek to see things like that, hear about things like that. So, I mean, we'll have to do an episode where we just talk about that itself. So, loved it. Thank you again, PolyFest, Emerald Dynasty Entertainment, DJ LuceScrewz, Victoria, everybody else behind that. Thank you guys so much for giving us a space like that to be able to create things like that, experience the music like that, experience each other. I seen a post too. Sorry, we need to get to our regular programming. But the last one about this is I seen somebody post about their nephew who's half black, half Samoan, and she was so happy that he got to come there and experience being with people that look
Nice.
like
Yep.
him.
Yep.
Look, and it's not just she wasn't just talking about like the Samoan side because we're also attached. Like we show love to a lot of black folk out there. Black folks show love to us. We're integrated. We are colored folks, as they used to call us. But like just the cultures they mix. And for him to come there and be able to, like she said, be with people that looks like him and him being able to share that with her, and so it's pretty dope, man. Like stories like that, and
Yeah.
I told Victoria, man, see that's the exact definition of what you guys were talking about, creating a safe space for people to come and enjoy their community, their culture, learn about it, and just not have to worry about being judged. So
Bring the people together. More
yes,
events like this. You probably can't, copy something to
yes,
this level, but definitely more attempts at getting together in person, sharing cultures, sharing ideas, just sharing meals. Oh my gosh.
oh
Yeah.
yeah. These
So
are things as a half Filipino, half Samoan kid growing up in Samoa. Like I didn't know I needed, but if you're growing up in Samoa and you're half Filipino, half Samoan, you also have to go through it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
But there's nothing like your culture to bring you closer and you know, um, kind of give you an identity that you're probably looking for. So that was pretty dope. Pretty dope to see a lot of people there, a lot of different walks of life. People just from different walks of life there. Great to see everybody come together. So yeah, man, what a
Uh
time.
Make sure to be there next year if you weren't there this year. If you're in the Pacific Northwest, there were people that came up from the Bay. So it was yeah, from all
Grow from the
over.
bay.
So
Yep.
definitely we'd love to see everybody out there when we be there in 2026. Uh After winning our fantasy football championships this year, and then we'll have like all the money for PolyFest in 2026.
Oh, my bad. I thought you were giving the intro to the next segment because I won last year's fantasy football league. Sorry.
Coach Forrest is the reigning, defending league champion. The Ballinesian Fantasy Football League. It's a PPR. We do two keepers, right? You already decided on your keepers?
I
We
did.
got it. We're figuring out draft order this weekend, and we're drafting like
I did.
close before
Yeah.
Labor Day. So you got time to change it. But who are you picking?
My first keeper, of course, it's a no-brainer. I know a lot of people are like, well, you never keep your first rounder. No, if your first rounder is Saquon Barkley, of course you keep him, dummy. That's my first rounder from last year. I'm gonna keep him. Can't tell me shit. Excuse my language. But yeah, my second keeper is actually probably the best value I could ever get. Um, Brian Thomas Jr. in the 10th round. Because
Nice.
he was automatic last year for the Jaguars. So those are my two keepers this year. Uh, and yeah, it's they're looking to get another championship for me, and I'm looking to be a really good manager this year. Looking to hang another belt on my wall. It's nothing new for me. You know, just I make fantasies come true. No, just kidding. Don't put that out there. Edit that out. But yeah, man, fantasy football. Those are my two keepers. What about you, man? You figure out your keepers?
I drafted Puka Nakua in the 15th round 2 years ago.
Um,
So I kept him last year for a 15th round pick, and it says I can keep him this year for that same 15th round pick. So definitely Puka, and I forget who the other person that I'm gonna keep, but
he said, he said,
oh, right here.
I don't care who the other one is.
I'm keeping Puka again for a 15th, and Jaden Daniels for a 9th.
Oh, there you go. There you
So
go. Really
let me
great
look
back.
up the ADPs over here. Puka Nakua is going like in the second round. He's like 9th overall. That's a first round. People are picking Puka Nakua in the first round. That's crazy because the Matt Stafford injury, they're giving this fool epidurals for his back pain.
I think he might be retiring. That's tough,
The
man.
the The backup quarterback for the Rams is Jimmy Garoppolo, who does not sling it the same way huh?
Starting quarterback. Just kidding.
The starting quarterback for the Rams, right? Okay, so Jimmy G right now is the guy out there. A thing about the Rams, they brought in wide receiver Devontae Adams, who left the Raiders because Jimmy G was throwing him hospital balls. He said, I have to leave this team or I'm going to get killed because Jimmy Garoppolo is not, doing what he needs to do. And now he's probably going to end up having to catch passes from him to make it happen. But they have Puka Nacua here. I'm using fantasypros.com, just the ADP. We are going, this is standard scoring. We need to pump this up to PPR. All right, so you have Puka Nacua going 8th overall. Averaging 8th, 4.8. That is crazy.
Well, see, that just makes your keeper, even a greater pick than what I thought of.
I kind of feel bad about it because it's a good point that if there is a value discrepancy like this so wide that I'm able to keep a first round pick for, a pick that I would have used on like a kicker or some crazy backup. I'm getting a starting player in the 15th round. So I'm going to be able to use my first or second round pick on another starting player. And that's where I feel like the money in these keeper leagues is made.
Hey, man, you know what we used to say back home? Oh, well, poof, poof. You know what I mean? That's just a really good move. No one wanted to pick Puka a few years ago. You're reaping the benefits. I mean,
but I also want to make it similar to like real football
right.
negotiations or like contract negotiations where you have a certain player on a rookie contract for a couple of years, but if they continue to be a great player, then maybe there's some sort of it gets bumped up to a mid-round pick or an early round pick, something where you get charged more. There's some kind of even you can't just like draft a gem and then hold them for a late round for forever. But we'll figure that out.
He's also our commissioner of the league, Lance is, and this is how great of a commissioner he is. He's actually drafting up a rule that will relieve him of Puka maybe next year, instead of making a rule to keep him forever. Which, I mean, you don't want to keep him forever, but
I feel like you got to mix the roster. You got to put them out, have everybody at least get a chance at some of these guys.
Yeah, love it.
But yeah, so I guess what other fantasies? Well, I got Jaden Daniels in the 9th. Where is that?
It's pretty good, especially for a quarterback, because a lot of people aren't going to draft quarterbacks early, but he's one of those guys that you might consider taking early. So you're getting him for a 9th round. That's not bad.
They got Jaden Daniels at the 29th pick for Fantasy Pros ADP, which is like a 3rd round pick. So to get him 6 rounds later, I'm hoping to use my 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round picks to really upgrade this team while also keeping a really good starting quarterback that is running, right? Jaden Daniels.
Yep.
Shout out to virtual reality. And also Puka Nacua, who now I have issues thinking about, it's dirt cheap, right? So I'm keeping him no matter what. But the expectations for the output for Puka drop a lot if Jimmy G is the starting quarterback.
For sure. Not to mention, he's going to share the field with Devontae now. Because, yes, he had Cooper Kupp last year he had to share the field with, but he didn't have to share it together with him often because Cooper Kupp was also often injured these past couple of years. So Devontae might also bring a different, devaluation to Puka because he's going to demand a lot of targets. So we'll see if he takes targets away from Puka. Minus, we're not even thinking about Garoppolo when we think about that. So we'll see.
All right. So you got Brian Thomas Jr. in the 10th round, and I'm looking on Draft Pros. He's going 15th overall. He's going in the 2nd round of a lot of drafts. So to get him 8 rounds later, you're going to be able to use that 2nd rounder instead for, like a starting running back to pair alongside Saquon or, whatever you want to do, which is, I feel like that's the fun.
Are you telling people my strategy?
Bro, so the way to submit keepers in our league, you just tell me which 2 guys you want to keep, but you can also put them into the league chat on Instagram. But if guys don't know who their team was, I tell them I can screenshot it for you. But every time I drop someone's screenshot into the chat, all eyes are like dissecting. Oh, you should keep this guy. Oh, this positional value. Oh, it's a 7th rounder. Oh no, this guy's a 15th rounder. It's definitely fantasy football season.
Right, I hate those guys.
The Hawks are circling. No, this guy's the worst guy. This guy's the main guy. Those guys you don't want to keep Bowers. That guy's gonna fall off this year. Brock Bowers for a 3rd round pick. Yeah. So Brock Bowers is going 16th overall, early 2nd. So Matt's gonna get him a round later. I love that value aspect of the team building.
Yeah, love that.
We still are due for some tweaks, but I think it's going to be next year. This year, I was kind of slow on it. Oh, Ballinesian leagues, right? Okay, so, for like supporting our trip to Super Bowl 60, publicly available leagues that we want to do. Survivor League is $20. Everyone picks a team. If that team wins, you move on to the next week. If your team loses, you're out. But the last person gets the jackpot of the money that we're collecting. We're going to use half of the funds for gas and hotels in San Francisco when we go in February of 2026 for Super Bowl 60, which is going to be hella dope. Some football fans in like the football, traveling mecca of that year. So there's the Survivor League. We could also do a charity league if people want to. I know it's like a week before kickoff, but we can start that in 2 weeks. And then I want to do a guillotine league. Have you heard about that? How that works? So Yahoo just put it out. Yahoo Fantasy is an app. Yahoo, ESPN Fantasy is an app. Sleeper is an app. But Yahoo put out a special league called a guillotine league, where every week the team that scores the lowest amount of points gets chopped out of the league.
Wow.
All their players are put onto the waiver wire, and that team is removed. And every week, another team gets chopped off until there is one team remaining. So
that's pretty dope.
So, but it's good in that, there's those times where you're in a league and you're not going to make the playoffs.
Right.
So and sometimes it's kind of early. Sometimes it's like by week 8. It's like still the single digits. I'm like, I'm 1-7. It's probably not going to be the year. You don't like to keep playing that for another month and a half, right? So the guillotine leagues are like, if you can't win or if you suck, you're cut. Don't worry about it. Go focus on something else. You're not involved in this anymore. So if you're like, you don't have a chance to win, or if your team's not a championship level team, you can be dismissed early and you don't have to worry about setting the lineup and stuff. So that's
you guys don't like to play spoiler?
Oh, that's my favorite, is when I'm like, nah, we're both sitting on the couch. Hey, come here.
If I'm 1-7 and you're 8-8, man.
Yeah. So those are the leagues that we're doing. If you want to be involved, let us know. We should probably make a post just so have that information out to people.
That'd be dope.
All right. Let's go through our teams and some of the fantasy players. I'll say a name and a situation. You let me know how you feel about them, if you take them there or if not, and why. Ashton Genty in the first round of your fantasy football draft. What do you think?
No, because I think there's still, and not just running backs, but I think there's a lot of players ahead of him with greater value. I don't mind taking him in the second because I still think he's going to produce. He's going to be in the run first offense, I think, even with Geno Smith there, who's a great quarterback, by the way. He's got weapons. He's got Brock Bowers. He's got Jacoby Myers. They have a second tight end and Michael Mayer. Who they have? They have Trey at the slot. They do have weapons. But Pete Carroll, as you can see when he was with Seattle, had beast mode. And what did they do? They ran him. Now, I'm not calling Genty beast mode, but he is in kind of the same mold. Might be a little faster, maybe a little bit more twitch, but he's going to get to carry that ball a lot. So second round, I think, is great value for him. First round, there's just a lot of players ahead of him that you could go with before you decide to take him.
I'll read off some names because actually Fantasy Pros has Ashton Genty around the 10th overall pick as the 4th running back off the board behind Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley, Jahmyr Gibbs, and then it goes wide receivers. So instead of Ashton Genty, if you were at number 10, would you rather have Christian McCaffrey?
No.
Derrick Henry?
Ooh. Actually, maybe Derrick Henry, because he has those games where all of a sudden he has like 400 yards. Yeah, Derrick Henry.
So according to Fantasy Pros average draft position, your running back is at 10 above those two other running backs. But I think it's crazy because he hasn't played a down of regular season football yet, right? And there's questions about whether the offensive line is going to be able to push for him. He had that that first preseason game that everyone was pointing to is like 3 carries minus 20 yards or something.
You can put that in your pocket now because his second game.
I'm kind of tethered to it. I know he ran over a DB, but I'm kind of it
wasn't just
-1.
It's the fact that the way he moved through the blocks, finding his lanes, the stop and go that he has. Watching that, like, man, he literally, as we use it all the time, 0 to 100 real quick. And then you talk about the offensive line. They were able to block against and they stayed in the game longer. Those were probably the first units they were playing against, and they were able to create lanes out there against San Francisco. So first game, they just even Pete Carroll came out and said you can take it for what you take it for, but he was like, we're not going to come out here and show everybody everything, obviously. So, but he did have. I mean, he said he had concerns about the line, but looks like they cleaned it up a little bit against San Francisco. So, if those are your concerns, I get it. But I think
seems like a safe second rounder with the amount of work that he's going to get and the talent that he has. Yeah. And then, I mean, after that first preseason game, those questions of like, oh, he was Mountain West, he's running over, regular people. But definitely in this, the second game, he shows that he can run over, he can juke jive, he can get around professional football players. So Ashton Genty, definitely more safe in the second round. You would say not a first round. You wouldn't take him with your first round pick.
No, I wouldn't take him in the first round.
Would you take Brock Bowers, a tight end, with your first round pick?
Yes, because there aren't too many tight ends that can do the things that he does. Okay. And after, you can name Travis Kelce is in the decline. I don't care what people say. If this is your favorite player or, you're a Chiefs fan.
Especially if it's your favorite player, it's wrong.
Yeah. He's in the decline. And the things that people praise Travis Kelce for how he played, it's kind of the same things you can see in Brock Bowers out there. Like, you put him out there, yeah, he runs his routes, but if a route's broken, he's going to find that open spot, and his hands are sticky. After Kittle, after I guess you could put Mark Andrews maybe. After Kittle, Porta, and then Brian Bowers, and Bowers isn't too far off from those two at all. It's not that far of a gap between Bowers and those two. And the reason you put those two ahead because one, they have the experience, and still they're putting up numbers in the league still. So, Laporte is younger, but yeah.
Let's see. Brock Bowers, average draft position in PPR, ADP is 19th overall. That's a second round pick, like a late second round pick. You would take him in the first round because he just offers that, dominance at that position. I'm looking at the rest of the tight ends because Brock Bowers is the first tight end off the board, right? He's tight end 1, and then tight end 2 is Trey McBride, but not until pick 27. And then tight end 3 is George Kittle, but not until pick 38. So if you're using your first, a top 12 pick on Brock Bowers, what would your strategy be for the next couple picks? Are you trying to go running back first? Are you trying to find a quarterback or a bunch of wide receivers? Sure. Running backs are so rare. Yeah, you need like a workhorse.
They can run the ball. They're definitely going to have the ball in their hands during the game. And then if you have a guy who can catch out of the backfield, now he's going to have the ball. Yeah, he's gonna have it even more now. He gets more touches. A receiver, yeah, maybe you're gonna run like a jet sweep or something like that, but that doesn't count as a run. That counts as a pass. So running backs can pick up yards catching. They can pick up running, first downs. Hell, some of these guys even throw the ball on occasion. So,
what do you think about the fantasy football punishment being you have to take the ASVAB?
I'm very big on proponent where people show how stupid they are.
And you gotta post your score. You gotta post your test score.
Look, full disclosure, I am not good at math at all. I wasn't
That's
good at
fine.
math. I'm just saying because
do this math. Do not lose more than 8 games.
I could barely add 5 plus 5, folks. But look, anything else that had the mechanic part of the ASVAB, the comprehension part, it's probably gonna be perfect. I can tell you that. But give me some math, and I'm gonna be the stupidest fool in the room. I can tell you that, man. Look, I was telling Lance the other day, I took a fairly easy class for my junior year of high school math. When I went to register for my senior year, they told me, "Hey, you don't have to take math. You got all your credit." I don't know if they mixed it up somehow or whatever.
You were like,
but I was like, "Hey, I was, you know what I took for classes instead of math? I took track because I played football." They said, "Hey, you want to take track?" You know who was a track coach or teacher? My football coach. So shout out to Boom, Clayton Mahuka.
Hey,
vice facet man. Yeah, man. So yeah, I love it. Let's do it.
All right. Geno Smith is going as one of these late round quarterbacks, and we can just use this time to talk about all those late round quarterbacks that we're talking about.
Sure.
When you're thinking about quarterback, you definitely want Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, right? But if you pick one of those guys in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round, whatever your league settings kind of tells you to do, it takes away from you being able to get a top 40, 50, skills player, a running back, a wide receiver that's going to put up these points. And usually you have more roster spots for these other players, these other positions, and there's just one quarterback. So because there's going to be only 12 used quarterbacks, by the time it gets towards the back end, they're all kind of the same, right? So if you don't get one of the top guys, you might as well wait for, someone in the final couple rounds, in the double-digit rounds, when you're talking about. I pulled up a list of like the last quarterbacks that could be drafted in a 15-round, 12-team league. And we're talking about 133rd, J.J. McCarthy, 144th, Trevor Lawrence, 149th, Tua Tagovailoa, 63rd, Cam Ward, 164th, Matt Stafford, 61st, Michael Penix, Bryce Young, Geno Smith, Sam Darnold, Aaron Rodgers, Anthony Richardson. We got news today that Daniel Jones is the starter, so he's probably even further down. But those names, those names aren't exciting, right? But we need to identify which of these guys you think would be the most likely to provide starter level value for very late little draft actual cost. So just quick fire your thoughts on these guys. JJ McCarthy, excited? No problem?
No. We haven't seen him throw a significant pass in the last 2 years.
And I haven't heard like good news, and this is the time where you can kind of cook up some kind of stat or highlight or stuff like that. I haven't heard a lot about JJ McCarthy, which is kind of worrisome. I'm intrigued by Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars and their new coach, who was the offensive coordinator in Tampa Bay with Baker Mayfield. Like if there's some of that Florida-ness that can, come over to Trevor Lawrence, who's been a disappointment, I'd say, so far in his career after the hype of being like football Jesus, the second coming,
right? Never losing since high school. They won every game since.
And now, the Jaguars haven't exactly took the league by storm, but this is like his second contract. So, it's time to see. Would you have Trevor Lawrence as your starting quarterback if he was like a late round pick, or even you got him for free after the draft?
Nah, I'd take Bryce Young ahead of him.
You'd have a better option. Oh, out of these late quarterbacks, okay. Yeah, Tua. What about Tua? Excited?
No, because he's one head tap away from another concussion.
The injury problem, and that's the entire Dolphins offense.
Yeah,
Because we see how it can be if Tua is in there orchestrating, directing the offense.
for
If
sure.
Tyreek Hill is
They
on the
win.
same page, they're going down.
Right.
I mean, even if they don't win, they're putting up 60-yard touchdowns, right? They're getting that's what Mike McDaniel wants, is like that kind of Shanahan jet sweep crossover, confuse the defense type route. So as soon as Tua is not the starting quarterback, if he's out due to injury, it falls off a cliff. It's not fun to watch. It is definitely not good for fantasy. So Tua is a risk because of the health. But I mean, if you can get him as a backup quarterback and then see how he kind of holds up, he might be startable in certain situations.
For sure.
New quarterbacks, for their teams. Cam Ward, number 1 overall pick, probably most underhyped quarterback ever. 163rd overall, which is undrafted. Michael Penix Jr. also taking over for the Falcons. Excited about either of those guys. Would be your starter?
I like Penix. And the thing is, I would take Cam Ward too over McCarthy. He's new, he's exciting, so he's gonna have a lot of mistakes, but he's gonna put up some numbers just because he's in there. Tennessee's gonna want to see him throw the ball, and he's gonna get a lot of opportunities out there to do it. But Penix, he's got some weapons around him.
First rounders.
Yeah.
Early first rounders. Drake London, Bijan Robinson, even Kyle Pitts. Those are supposed to be some guys that are going to make plays happen, get yards, score touchdowns, really good for fantasy. And they all depend, well, I guess Bijan Robinson to a less extent, but they all depend on Michael Penix being able to run the offense to keep it balanced so that the defenses are on their toes.
You know what? I think Bijan might count on Penix even more, because to create lanes, he's going to need Penix to move the ball from the pocket. He's also going to depend on, because he's a really great receiving back, he's going to depend more on Penix to get in the ball. So, yeah, I think
that's an exciting situation to monitor. And I definitely could take Michael Penix as a late, like a free quarterback after the draft. We talked about Bryce Young. I feel like definitely seeing the second half of last season and him gaining his confidence and throwing some of those floaters and really feeling a lot more comfortable, looking a lot more comfortable on the football field. I'd be comfortable taking Bryce Young if I went 0 quarterback throughout the draft. And then following Bryce Young down here, averaging 172nd overall pick, is Geno Smith for the quarterback for the Raiders. Would you rather have Geno Smith or Bryce Young for fantasy football?
I could take Geno in the first round. Geno's that good.
In the first round?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, man. Ever since he's become a Raider, he's got like this extra kick to him. If you guys watched some of the games last year in Seattle, he was probably the fastest guy on the field. He was clocked at like
the fastest.
Somebody put that out there one day. He ran like, I don't know how long his touchdown run was, but
it's ridiculous.
But for that day, he was the fastest, of course, because he had like no one in front of him. I think he got like up to like 20 miles, something like that. But somebody put out ridiculous. Yeah. If you guys look at it, he was the fastest guy in Seattle the whole. I was like, man, get the hell out of here! You're making Raiders look stupid. Shut up. But to be serious, yes, I would say Geno. Geno has a better track record at the moment over Bryce Young. Is back with the coach who resurrected his career. So not only is his spirit up more, he's more confident now that he's back with Pete Carroll, but the offense he's going to be running is probably going to be something similar to what he's used to. And again, you can't just never put it past you how important it is when you're with a coach who believes in you,
Yep.
He said you was like, no, that's my guy, and he doesn't seem like he's just telling you what you want to hear. So, yeah, I like Geno. That's great. Yeah, I'll pick Geno at that spot. I might take Geno as my quarterback if I can get him that late.
You don't have to take a quarterback the entire draft, or if you didn't, we would be comfortable starting Geno, who is a consummate professional and consistent, and he's going to have weapons with him. He's going
he's going to have weapons. Yeah,
and then we would be comfortable taking Bryce Young, and we would also like to take Michael Penix if you're looking for a late quarterback.
Right.
I like these 2 quarterback or super flex leads because they definitely. I think quarterback is one of the most important positions. So to me, it's weird that Josh Allen goes into the 5th round of like standard, because when you only have one quarterback, people are stocking up on the important running backs and wide receivers that they need to use, because there's no point having 2, 3, 4 quarterbacks when you can only play one of them. So you got to fill up with running backs, wide receivers. And if they go off the board, then you're kind of stuck holding a bunch of quarterbacks for no reason.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the Chargers. Justin Herbert is one of those not so late quarterbacks, 111th. That's like the 9th, 10th round of 12-team league drafts. I have no reason to think that he would be too much better when you think about how the Chargers want to run the ball, how they brought in running backs, how they focused on bringing in the offensive line. They did draft a wide receiver in the 2nd round again, back-to-back years. Ladd McConkey last year, and then Trey Harris, Mississippi State? Ole Miss. Yeah, Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, yes.
Trey Harris is now there. They try to bring Mike Williams back. He retired. They signed Keenan Allen. Welcome back, Slayer.
Retired. Yeah. No, just kidding.
So Justin Herbert is going to do okay. I think he's going to kind of be along the Patrick Mahomes line of do what is needed to get the win. They're not going to ask him to throw for 350 yards a game the way Joe Burrow, can do, right?
Just for our listeners, you're not comparing him to what's his name?
Patrick Mahomes?
Right.
I am using that comparison. Patrick Mahomes isn't like 400-yard bomb games anymore. He's just do what it needs to be done to win the game.
You ever compare those 2 quarterbacks?
What are you talking about? It's the exact same thing. They're not freaking gunsling. They have the gunslinging ability, but their offenses
is a game manager. No, I'm just
man, we are in football season.
We are.
The Raider is here.
Lance was talking about my championship. He goes, man, don't let them win another championship. These Raiders will never hear the end of it. I was like, oh, that's tough. Coming from a Charger who's never won a championship before.
Exactly. I'm trying to win one for my team, my real team, to take the example in real life. All right, so Justin Herbert.
I like him at that spot.
If you can get him late, like if he drops even further to like the last round, sure.
Yeah.
You pick him up. You can be happy knowing you got a decent quarterback that if the situation calls for it, maybe he'll rack up a bunch of yards and a bunch of touchdowns. But the weapons, to me, don't say it. The coaching staff doesn't say it. What they want to do and how they want to win games doesn't say, Justin Herbert for any earlier than that. A lot earlier than Justin Herbert, though, is going to be Omarion Hampton, who is going as the 34th overall pick, which is the end of the 3rd round, according to Fantasy Pros. I would take him in the 2nd round. I would take him even earlier than that.
I don't know about it.
Najee Harris is the running back who is supposed to kind of open the season. Najee not doing that great. This quote unquote superficial eye injury from the July 4th incident, this man's been walking around with a visor and an eye patch, or I don't know about an eye patch. He's been walking around with his visor on, his helmet on, glasses on, and not really participating. It's getting really close to the season. When we're recording this, we are like, how far away are we? It's the beginning of September. We're like 12 days away from the season starting. And Omarion Hampton is taking an RB1 snaps and looks, right? And behind Najee Harris and Omarion Hampton aren't a bunch of other guys that are necessarily destined to carve out a large amount of work away from, the Chargers' first round pick. Greg Roman will probably be run oriented and try to mix other people in there. But you got Hassan Haskins, who is a very good, tough running back, kind of like the Gus Edwards, and also plays special teams. You have Kamani Vidal, who the Chargers drafted kind of in the middle rounds a few years ago, who is now like able to contribute a little bit more consistently, but the ceiling isn't, that up. They got Rocket Sanders, who they like a lot. There are a bunch of good running backs that could come in, but I feel like you have to lean in to this guy. If Najee Harris isn't going to be there as the guy that you signed as the professional, unless you go sign some other running back and bring him in right now, I feel like Omarion Hampton is going to take the workload, and it's going to be a lot closer to that kind of situation that the Raiders have with Ashton Genty. I keep trying to call him Alshon Jeffries. Who is Alshon Jeffries?
Wide receiver, South Carolina.
Okay. Ashton Genty, right? It's going to be closer to that workhorse role instead of that split that we've been viewing Omarion Hampton for the last couple of months, seeing him as he's going to be Najee's handcuff, or he's going to just be the third down back until Najee gets tired midseason or something like that. Now with Najee Harris not, 100%, Omarion Hampton, I think, is going to fill that vacuum left by, Najee Harris, 1,000 yards rushing for the first 4 years.
I think we had two different thoughts, though, when they drafted him. I thought they drafted him to start. I thought they brought Najee Harrison just for
as the backup.
Not really, yeah, but to share the backfield for the moment, but not too far off in the near future. Mm-hmm. I think the team would just turn over to Omarion Hampton. That's what I thought they brought him in for. I thought Najee Harris was just there for insurance purposes if he has a slow start, or for guidance and whatnot. And for Harris, I think they're just waiting for his goggle. I think they ordered one from, I don't know if you watch Dragon Ball Z.
Say goggle?
Yeah.
Singular?
So in Dragon Ball Z, Frieza and his group, they come with this eyewear, and it's it. Anyway, if you watch Dragon Ball Z, you guys know what I'm talking about. But I think Hampton is good value at 3. Real good value at 3. I think he's going to get a lot of touches.
I think great value in the third. I think acceptable to take in the second, because the same way that we talk about Justin Herbert not reaching his potential because because the number of opportunities won't be there, that number of passes gets turned into runs and it gets handed to the running back group. And this, I think, especially if Najee Harris is not participating as much as we thought, because Najee was signed first, right? And then the draft happened a month later, where the Chargers, who agreed to a trade with the Eagles to try to trade back, the trade did not go through. So they ended up panicking and kind of having to go with, Omarion Hampton, which I don't know how much that affects your want to work there if you find out that they didn't really want to pick you and it was kind of a panic pick. But I definitely think the Chargers wanted to go with the defensive tackle out of Oregon, Harmon, but he went one pick earlier to the freaking Pittsburgh Steelers. And then they ended up with Omarion Hampton, who now is the future running back horse of the Chargers run game, which is supposed to be souped up because Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman want to win the game by controlling, by being on the ground. These are some of the other running backs available around that second, third round area that we're talking about Omarion Hampton. Let me know if you would like Omarion Hampton or Bucky Irving.
Omarion Hampton.
Omarion Hampton or Joshua Jacobs.
Ooh. I'd go Jacobs.
He's in Green Bay, right?
Yeah, I would go Jacobs because he didn't fall off last year. Actually had a pretty good year last year. So, and he's not missing a starting left tackle.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that is a good point. The Chargers are without Rashawn Slater for the rest of the year. So now that offensive line mix up with Joe Alt going to the left, Trey Pipkins going to the right tackle, calls into question whether they're going to be able to gel. And it's, 2 weeks before the season starts now. Omarion Hampton or Chase Brown?
Hampton.
Omarion Hampton or James Cook?
Hampton.
Yeah, so I'd say Omarion Hampton, definitely in the third round, but I would take him early as the second because those opportunities
he's gonna get.
I think going to go to him.
That's what it comes down to. Opportunity. He's going to get a lot of them.
All right, and finally for the Chargers kind of starters, it's going to be Ladd McConkey, who Fantasy Pros has as the 26th, so a early third round pick, second pick of the third round. Definitely the volume, the efficiency, right? It doesn't matter where the pass is thrown. Ladd McConkey's got the sticky hands. He gets a bunch of catches. He has the most yards by a
catch radius is
rookie ever hit. Is it? Wait, what? His catch radius? What is he like? 6 foot?
6'1"?
6'1" in cleats. I don't know, but he's got hands, right? He's gonna catch. I don't know if I'd be comfortable doing a third round pick right there. Well, would you take Ladd McConkey with your early third?
I mean, if I got the two running backs that I wanted in the first, because there are going to be some guys who are going to go wide receiver first. I might, because he's not a bad receiver to go to, and he's got a solid quarterback throwing at him. So those are two factors that you should also look at. Yes, they did lose the left tackle, but they got an even better one moving over now. So you don't really have to worry. Don't shake your head. You don't really have to worry about your left side anymore because it's going to be even cleaner now. What you have to worry about is my man Pimpkins on the right side.
All right. Ladd McConkey is like 26th overall at his ADP. Let's see. Drake London is the wide receiver before him. Ladd McConkey or Drake London?
Oh, Drake London.
Ladd McConkey or T. Higgins?
Oh, well, where's T. Higgins playing? Oh, he did sign a new contract with Cincinnati.
Yeah, he's in Cincinnati. Yep.
You know what, T. Higgins, because I like Herbert better than I do Burrow.
So you want T. Higgins?
No, McConkey.
Oh, McConkey. Okay. Ladd McConkey or Tyreek Hill?
Ooh. McConkey.
Ladd McConkey or Jackson Smith and Jigba?
McConkey.
Garrett Wilson?
McConkey.
Devontae Adams?
Definitely McConkey. Devontae Adams. All players that leave the Raiders, everybody's like, hey, man, once a Raider, always a Raider.
Always a Raider. Except for Mr. Taco Bell.
Gosh.
And now he's back with former Raider Jimmy G in LA.
And that's how you know karma works in real life.
Are there any flags you're willing to plant for this fantasy season? Like things you think are really going to go? Before we do shout outs, like any nugget that you think you're going to be right on that other people don't know?
Yeah, that I'm going to win this league. It's the only right thing. I
win it again.
I think that Jency and Hampton are going to be really big in fantasy for people who drafted. I don't know if you drafted them in the first round, but I think those two guys. I think they're going to be big. Again, comes down to talent, and they're super talented, but the opportunities that they're going to be waiting for them in the offenses that they're going to be in with the coaches that they're with are going to be plenty. So, the only thing Jency really is competing with is the hype that he came in with. Hampton really doesn't have to deal with that, like league wide. Yes, with Charger fans, because Chargers know that they picked him at that spot, knowing that they wanted someone besides him on defense, but they went ahead and picked him. So those expectations are lofty for him in San Diego, but he doesn't have like the whole league looking at him like, oh, they dropped him. All the hype. Jency's coming out with so much hype out of Boise State. Heisman finalist. The death stance, who Chip Kelly asked him to relieve himself of. So I don't know if we're going to see the death stance during the season. He's already on hands to knees, so would have been cool to see. But yeah, I think those two are going to have big seasons for people in fantasy.
Are there any slept on teams or bad teams from last year that you think might be worth taking some of their players in fantasy? We talked about these The Panthers being confident in Bryce
Panthers.
Young,
Bryce
Roy,
Young.
McMillan,
Oh
Hubbard
man.
as a running back.
But they also got Leggett is going to be a good guy over there as a receiver. I think it's a breakout year for him. They do have probably the craziest route runner I've ever seen play ball in the slot at Hunter Renfro. He's on the team.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And
nice.
People are just singing his praise already. Yeah, they got those guys there. I think the Patriots are going to be good with the new coach. I like Mike Vrabel as a coach.
I'm worried they're going to be a better football team, but not as high scoring for fantasy.
For sure.
They're going to win.
I don't know. You know what?
17-13.
You asked about a sleeper. I think Drake May is a quarterback sleeper. If you can get Drake May late in the
let me see when Drake May's going.
I think Drake May should be a really good quarterback. He looked good last year. Just the spurts that we saw from him being great.
Wow.
I think it was enough to have confidence in him being
123rd, so a 10th round pick. You could get Drake May, and he could be like worthy of the starting quarterback. I think have wide receivers. Stephon Diggs. They got Diggs there. Hunter Henry at tight end.
They do. So those are two big guys because they're experienced. They've had time in the league. They got some second-year guys that are coming up that are going to be good. So, yeah.
Kendrick Bourne's still there?
I think he's there. I think he's still there. So, like those guys. The Jets might be interesting with Justin Fields at quarterback there.
Mm-hmm.
There's rumors of Breece Hall getting traded as he's been benched for the rest of preseason. I think it's a mutual agreement, so that just all points to him actually getting traded this year because they want to keep his trade value and keep him healthy, so teams aren't afraid to draft him. They can ship him out. But their backup, the kid that drafted last year, Braylon Allen, they're all in.
Nice
on him. Big back, can move. Garrett Wilson over there with Justin Fields, he's happy. That's his college quarterback. So yeah, I like the Jets. Some of those guys are probably worthy drafting. Justin Fields for sure, because I don't know if there's a quarterback out there faster than him. He might be faster than Lamar Jackson, actually. Not quicker, faster though. I think he's faster. So I like the Jets. Who else? Cardinals are a tough team to figure out, but they're also I think they're on the borderline of being a good team. Kyler Murray is exciting, but he's also 4'2", so that's gonna be tough. Never bothered him before, so I don't know why it would bother him now.
You just wanted to talk about how short he was?
Yeah. No, I like the Cardinals. I think
look at this short guy. It doesn't matter though. He's got it.
Him and what is the legacy kid there? Marvin Harrison Jr. I like him. I like their rapport that they build.
Nice.
Just Kyler Murray goes out there and he's like, just run, I'll throw it to you. You catch it. And they're like, okay.
Please.
Right?
Marvin's big arms are out there somewhere.
Man. So yeah.
If you guys have any freaking late round locks or draft strategies that you swear by that can help people win their leagues, definitely DM us so we can use them and repost them for everyone. Yes, so we can try to win some of this money. A reminder, any of the money that we win in fantasy this year, at least part of it is going to go to helping fund our drive down to San Francisco in February to cover Super Bowl 60 in the streets of San Francisco. We're not going to go inside. We're not trying to buy tickets. We're trying to get down there, kind of the same way that we were talking about PolyFest, being among the people in person, talking to them, asking them questions, figuring out why they're there, what makes them excited, what gets, what they're passionate about. Definitely to also do that at something that we're passionate about in the sport of football and a game as big as the Super Bowl. It's going to mean a lot. So yeah, we're excited about that. We're going to win a lot of money this year. We're going to freaking go down to San Francisco for the Super Bowl. Any shout outs before we head out this week?
Oh yeah, man. Shout out to all the crew, the breakdown crew, the build-up crew from PolyFest and Emerald Entertainment, the people who work the booths, the people who work the front gate, people who work the merch table, everybody behind the scenes in the backstage area who were taking care of all the performers, security too. So crucial to always not to forget to mention security because they did a great job. They weren't overly aggressive with a lot of people. And they were vibing, so really cool. They were easy to talk to, but they kept the crowd cool. There was no trouble. There were rumblings of trouble outside of the event, the festival, but nothing happened inside. Security was great. Shout out to the band, man. Sound people, they were amazing. We seen one of the sound guys get rich on
the kid went up during like the tongue and Siva and came up with like a handful of dollars. I was like, bro, what are you doing with that money? Put it down. That's not yours.
It looked like he was in one of those booths where you go in and they turn on the air and the money flies all over the place. This fool came down with money in his arms from the Tongan community's Taulunga, and then he stuffed it in the cooler.
There's that part in the end of Rush Hour 1 when the guy's like slamming the suitcase of money, trying to knock Jackie Chan's hands off the rail, and it opens up the suitcase and hundreds of $100 bills come flying out and raining down in this convention center. And Chris Tucker's at the bottom like, thank you, Jesus.
Right.
But there's that specific shot where he's like got a handful of dollar bills and he's like tucking them into his shirt, into his freaking shirt. That's what this kid looked like. I was like, oh, get this kid. That was funny.
Man, too funny. But shout out to those guys. They did a good job. There's always going to be miscues at things like this, especially a live event. You're going to figure things out, and they did. Shout out to the band. The DJs, of course, DJs were wonderful. All the DJs that were there, they were great, man. Put on a show for everybody. They got the crowd moving. They worked well with Tama and everybody that was out there with them, VMAC, the guys on the small stage, But the band, man, they were so good. I got a shot of him playing bass. I don't know if it's just Stone Deuce. I don't know if that's his band, but they were there last year too. Their drummer, oh man, he's so good. So shout out to those guys. And then shout out to all the performers that were on the other stage, not the smaller stage. Oh. I'm not going to say that. On the other stage in the back, a lot of the
Pressure 91 stage.
Right. Yeah. Those guys were dope. South and Siva for being the host out there, or I know he was out there. He performed. Tassi 1K was out there too, man. On the small stage, he performed out there. Nice. From a guy who, that's great to see, man, on the backstage, to have him out there because he's got a following and his music's so good. He was on the big stage a couple years ago for PolyFest, hosting and performing. So he was out there, man. Shout out to Tassi 1K. Shout out to everybody that was just a part of it. And yeah, man, you guys do a great job. Great job. Shout out to Lance. Shout out to Sammy. Shout out to Nora for showing up and keeping me company.
Shout out to Marina Davis.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What an amazing performance.
Has pipes.
What a vibe. Yeah. What a voice. What a vibe.
Performer. What a great performer.
Yeah. She had it. She had it lit, and was putting on for the girls. They did the Taulunga.
Taulunga, yeah, man. And man, and then shout out for Tanel, man, because she flew in, got on stage. She was the first act to go up.
Man, I thought she was gonna be later. I was excited to see her. No, then when I got there, you were like, "She gone." I was like, "No."
You see Tanel's name on a lineup, and you're thinking, "Oh, no, she's either the headliner or she's towards the end
there.
Where they have." But she got there because she explained she had to catch a flight right after. But because of that, she still came out and wanted to go on first because she wanted to perform. And there was a little bit of a crowd in the front, not too many, but they were super hyped to see her. But she was super hyped to see, even those people in the front. It wasn't a big crowd. There were people out there enjoying her music. I was one of them. You can see my pictures. Yeah, but she treated it just like there were thousands of people out in the crowd. And I don't know if there was even 100 out there, but she sure did perform for everybody out there.
Hey, nice.
And that was dope, man. That was dope. She even came off. She had kids wanting pictures with her. You know, she got pictures with Jesse and Victoria. I was able to take that picture. Shout out to you, Tanel, man. Great performer. Super dope that you came out and performed first, even. Like, yeah,
Being as big
loved
a
it.
star, as big a name, as big as an actress
Yeah,
she is, to,
yeah,
to
for
even
sure.
open it. That's dope.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Shout out. Yeah, Marina Davis. I said that already, but damn, that was great. Yeah, just everybody that was out there. Shout out to Forrest for getting everybody to come talk to us and uh giving us that opportunity to freaking talk to some of these dope people, these artists, these creatives, these humans that have their freaking passions and that
Yep.
definitely we're all directed towards the community and also helping uplift our people, whether it's our kids or our girls or our artists or what a dope event and experience.
Yes.
And I was very appreciated to be able to share that with you and the family and everybody, so thank you for that. Yeah, this is the Ballinesian Podcast, PolyFest 2025 recap and 2025 fantasy football launch episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. And yeah, we're here every Wednesday morning, new episodes on the Polytickin network. So I'm always talking about sports and anything else that's coming up. Definitely support the network through the Patreon, and appreciate you guys for listening. For Forrest, I'm Lance. We'll catch you next time. Stay hydrated, stay blessed, stay balling, love and light. Peace. Here's it.
Go Raiders.